It's midday. Hello, good afternoon, and welcome to Citi Prime News. My name is Zoe Abube-Eduardo, and I'm here with
Eno Safo.
The news is live from our studio at number 11, Dr. Martin Loop in Adabraka, Accra. Coming up, farmers in Chichire in the eastern region decry the forceful takeover of their lands by alleged illegal sand winners as they call for immediate intervention from security agencies. Also coming up, Education Minister Dr. Yawose Duchim once again shoots down calls for a review of the free SHS program but admits the policy needs improvement.
But you're saying that you don't think free SHS should be reviewed in any shape or form?
Nope.
Meanwhile, the government is set to release 65 million cedis this week for the payment of teachers for providing extra classes to students. Still ahead, examiners in the Bono region demand payment from WAEC for 2023 WASI script marking services. And later, Citi FM and Citi TV cut sword for the construction of a chips compound and staff quarters for the Mepe community, which was heavily affected by the spillage of the Akosombo and Bong dams.
So this afternoon we'll go to Mefe to cut sod for the building of a clinic, which will have a facility like a chips compound, and it will also be places to accommodate doctors and things.
This news is also live on all our partner stations across the country. In the Western region, we're on Premier 100.5 FM in Takrady, Beach 105.5 FM in Takrady, Bono region, Greener 95.9 FM in Sunyani, Orange 107.9 FM in Kumasi in the Ashanti region, Volta region, Holy 98.5 FM in Naplao, Northern region, Dasuma 99.1 FM in Yendi, Upper East, Word 88.3 FM in Zwarungu, and in the Upper West region, we're on Bugli Radio 88.6 FM in Wa. Across the globe, you can hear us on citinewsroom.com. We are also live on Citi Tube on YouTube.
Citi Prime News at 12 midday. Updates you on all the running stories and connects you to the newsmakers.
Many thanks for your time this afternoon. Now, over 50 peasant farmers at Chichire, a farming community located between Suhum and Nsawam in the Ayenswano district of the eastern region, are living in distress due to the forceful takeover and destruction of their farmlands by illegal sand winners. The farmers, who had cultivated 50 acres of the 100-acre land given them by Blue Skies Company Limited, were left in awe when the illegal sand winners operating under the protection of gun and machete-wielding land guards stormed the area to carry out the exercise. According to the farmers, some of their colleagues were given 2,000 cedis as compensation for the destruction of their farms. Here are some of the farmers sharing their frustrations with Citi News.
The sand winners came about 2 weeks ago. They said Ochehini gave them the permission to do so. They have destroyed my farm. I was giving only 2,000 cedis.
20 million. Do I need Jesus? Okay. Omudi kind of cast can once a month, no be 2 and some buy a pen of buy a no muti. My bet any banch yet. Tom Muba or Muna or Mugusia win, and I can say, see that major woman. And I say, Mikhail, I am at 10. And I say you, and two more Susu.
My palm and cassava farm has been destroyed by the sand winners. They also broke down the shed that houses my pigs. I was really upset. I wanted to confront them, but a police officer around said, since I had been paid by them, it was needless confronting them. I was paid 2,000 Ghana cedis only. I am not happy about it.
Scam would be my man, yes, a scan, and would be my mammy 20 million, but yes, a scan, and I would be my Timmy Buffy pa until any day. Why I say, only as I see right, to me, anyone would in Trini, Rebresa, into me there 2,000, until Shimmy pa.
You heard some peasant farmers at Chichire, a farming community located between Suhum and Nsawam, speaking to Citi News. Meanwhile, owners of the land, Blue Skies Company Limited, are calling on the Inspector General of Police, Dr. George Ekufu-Dampare, to immediately call for an investigation and arrest the illegal sand winners. Alistair Jimate is head of corporate affairs at Blue Skies.
Well, we would wish that the police service, and for that matter, so there's a district police, there's the regional police command. I'm sure they are aware by now, and definitely we hope that they will put the necessary steps in place to get sure that we arrest these people and also protect this land, because it is a huge investor interest. And this is a project we are undertaking. If I'm not mistaken, we are investing about £25 million in this project to create jobs for over 4,000 people in this area. And at this state, and I speak from the business, we are wondering whether it is necessary for us to go ahead with our intention of building an ultra-modern business, because you cannot invest your money when you have no assurance that the investment you are putting into it. Because if this continues, who would come and invest here? It brings us back, because plans of activities we plan to start this year would have to be pushed to maybe the next 3 or 4 years. And if this is the payback, unfortunately, it doesn't speak well as a people, as a community, and even as a country.
Alistair Jimate is the head of corporate affairs at Blue Skies Company Limited. Ni Amate Kanaku is our Eastern Regional correspondent, and he has been to the area to give us an update on what is happening in the Chichirue area in the Eastern region. Good afternoon, Ni Amate Kanaku, for joining us. What is the extent of damage to these farmlands, and how many people have been affected?
Thank you very much, Zoe. Now, the extent is overwhelming, because when you look at the area, even right from the main junction, that is the main highway, to the farmland, you would see pockets of land that have been degraded by the activities of these sand winners in that particular area. So we drove for several miles, and then both sides of the road, that is the left and right side, have all been degraded. That is won by this illegal sand winners. Now, some of the farmers who saw us enter their space even noticed, quickly hurried up to us to intervene on their behalf. According to when they saw the cameras, they were like, Mumbuaying, we need help because this has been going on. Now, according to them, these people come armed. That is with armed land guards, machete, wooden armed men, and with other people also having rifles whenever they operate in this area. Now, the modus operandi is they come to the farm without even telling you what they want to do. They just, before you visit your farm, you know that you see that this place, that the sun has been wind in that particular area. And then when you confront them, they will say is yes, they'll give you like 2,000 Ghana cedis, because a lot of farmers we spoke to indicated that even 2,000 Ghana cedis, it wasn't like evaluated the items on the crops for even giving them the money. That is a take it or leave it compensation that is being given to them by these people. So a lot of farms in that particular area have been degraded, destroyed by this sand winners. Right until we entered the 100-acre land belonging to Blue Skies, which is being intended for a multi-purpose factory in that particular area. So, as we speak now, farmers in that particular area are really distressed with the activities of these sand gunners in that particular area.
Okay, kindly reposition yourself for me. And whilst you do that, the corporate affairs, the head of corporate affairs at Blue Skies mentioned that they are providing jobs for over 4,000 people. But with this current issue, how many people are being affected?
Yeah, so currently, farmers working on that particular land belonging to Blue Skies are close to 50. I didn't even ask those that were not captured in other lands that is next to the 100-acre land, which was purchased by Blue Skies in 2018. Now, these farmers were given the land because Blue Skies are making arrangements to construct that multi-purpose factory on that particular land. They thought it wise to give it to the local peasant farmers in the area to cultivate and also get something before they start the process. Now, according to management of Blue Skies, they've brought in some engineers. They've even brought in the Ghana Highway Authority because they want to construct the road from the main junction to the 100-acre land so that it will aid in transport their some produce, that is their fruit juice, whenever after the finished production. So workers from the engineers from the Ghana Highway Authority have been to the site, and then they've given them estimation, taking measurement of what needs to be done. That is culvert and drainage that needs to be worked on. Has all been given to Blue Skies, and then they are making plans and arrangements to move to site and then start the construction of the automotive factory, which intends to provide jobs for more than 4,000 people within the Citi area, Sawam, and then Som area.
All right. How widespread is the issue of sand winning in the area, and is the police aware of these activities?
Yeah, so according to my sources, the Eastern Regional Command itself is aware of this particular incident. The Eastern Regional Minister has also been informed about the activities of this sand winners in the area. Now, the widespread of this area, this sand winning activity in the area is so enormous, because here I did close to 4 reports on sand winning in that particular enclave. Now, it covers the Nsawam area, covers the Adepo area, it covers the Ayenswano areas where sand winning activities are rapidly going on. Now, these people who engage the services gas, there's been several clashes in the Adepo area, that is Situma area, where we've had issues, that is the local people confronting the sand winners, exchange program, shots and what have you, and even people even being maimed in the process. Last year, I covered 4 different stories of sand winning in the Nsawam Adeso area. Issue, if not being taken care of, will be generated into something else. Is a way.
All right, thank you so much for the update. That was Neilni Amate Kanaku. He is our Eastern Regional Correspondent. To bring you some other stories now.
Let's move to the education sector, because the Minister for Education, Dr. Yawase Duchum, has shot down calls for any aspect of the free senior high school program to be reviewed. The IMF, in a 2023 country report, observed that while the program had increased enrollment, it was poorly targeted. But the minister disagrees, arguing that Ghana is seeing better outcomes, hence no need for a review.
In 2015, only 2% of primary 2 students could read for understanding in Ghana. Now it's 38% based on exams, national standards test of 2022. I don't agree that Ghana is what it used to be in 2015.
Do you agree that the FSS is poorly targeted?
No, I don't. So if you are using...
Is there any area of FSS that needs improvement?
Let me tell you. Anything that you do, there will be areas that need improvement.
Based on your own reflection and experience as minister, is there any area of FSS that requires review or improvement?
Improvement, we continue to train teachers, make sure teachers are well prepared to teach for better learning outcomes. They are doing that and will continue to do that.
Are you prepared to consider things like people paying for boarding fees whilst day is free?
No.
So for you, the only improvement is to improve teacher.
Well, you see, so far the country is getting better outcomes. We move on.
There's been voices from everywhere calling for review. Are you saying that you've not heard? So of all the calls for review, you haven't heard any voice that has convinced you that there should be review of any aspect of USHS?
I'm the Minister for Education. I don't appoint myself. I want you to know that.
Yeah.
I act on the directives of the president. Yeah.
But you're saying that you don't think free SHS should be reviewed in any shape or form?
Nope.
Still on education, the government has insisted on a centralized procurement of food items for secondary schools across the country. The Conference of Heads of Assisted Secondary Schools, CHAS, during its 61st anniversary last year, made an appeal to the government to decentralize the procurement process so heads can procure food items locally. But Dr. Yawase Duchum explained that the ministry has augmented its efforts with support from the Commodities Exchange to supply food to schools.
There was something called the school feeding program then off. It was controlled by the schools. Yeah. And every now and then schools were shut down. So it's not a panacea that the fact that you control it means that there will be no glitches. That's not the point. The point of the matter is that you set up systems and you improve upon it. For example, last year we did procurement and it was sent to certain locations in the regions and it's been working. So the bottom line is that it's not so much about if I control, then everything would be great. If that was the case, during the time of the Northern School Feeding Program, there were great challenges.
They said they want to buy their own food. They wanted to take the buffer stock out of the processed food because for at least for the past 2 years, there have been delays that we've all seen.
And that is why we brought in another entity, Commodity Exchange. They've done a fantastic job. Tucci and her team has done a great job supplying food to schools. So the fact that one agency has failed doesn't mean you cannot complement the efforts of government with another agency, which is also a government agency. And Commodity Exchange has done a fantastic job.
The government will this week release 65 million Ghana cedis for the payment of teachers for providing extra classes to students. According to the Education Minister, Dr. Yawose Duchum, the government's decision to absorb the cost of education, which includes payment of teachers for extra classes, is a major contributory factor to the sterling performance of students this year. He spoke on the Citi Breakfast Show.
The first thing is the removal of cost barrier. If you talk to headmasters, they will tell you that during the first week of school, majority of the students are here. Before free senior high school, parents who could not afford it, their kids were at home 2 weeks, 3 weeks, 4 weeks, looking for money before they could go. Okay. There has been a time in this country where students were sent home to go and collect their fees, to do WASI registration, and they couldn't come back. That is over. The students now have the peace of mind. If they can't study, it's not about the fact that it's a cost issue. So the cost removal, and then the increase in contact hours also has a lot to do, because when students get to school the first week instead of the fourth week, they are having more contact hours with teachers. Then you talk about intervention in the area of textbooks that were distributed across the board to schools in the country, core textbooks. And this year, all science students are going to get textbooks for every subject area. So there have been many interventions. And then once upon a time, there was something called extra classes. It was for those who could afford to pay. If you didn't have money, you did not get the extra classes. Now, every year, we pay 65 million to be distributed among teachers for the extra work that they do with the students. So the poor student.
So the extra class is paid for by the state?
By the state. This week, we are sending out 65 million to be shared among teachers for the work they did last year, 65 million. Every year, we've consistently paid. And that provides opportunity for students to get extra classes for free on our campuses. That was not the case before free senior high school.
Does that include also the procurement of past questions for them?
We did it some years back. We are no longer doing it because I believe that now we are in a technological era where you can go online and have opportunities. So the last 2 years, there have not been any past questions because...
We'll still stay on the Education Minister's interview on the Citi Breakfast Show, and he says that 40% of secondary schools in Ghana are still running the double-track system. The government had promised to phase out the double-track system by last year. But when asked if the government will fulfill that promise this year, the sector minister, Dr. Yawose Duchum, said the schools are still in transition.
Yes, I was there in Tamale when the president said it.
But 7 years is still 2024.
Yeah.
So will double track end this year?
Most of the schools are transitioning.
Will it end this year?
No, I'm saying most of them are. I have to look at the number.
But if you say
most schools are transitioning.
There are so many schools still doing double track.
40%.
That's
we flipped from 60%, now it's going to 40%.
But if 40% are still doing double track, you can't tell me that.
You see, the rule of thumb is very simple. I want quality pre-sec education for more students. If I can put in more infrastructure pre-sec, I end double track.
We are not saying end double track. We are saying admit that you couldn't end it in the time you said you end it.
No,
you said you end it in 5 years.
Why do I have to come and sit here and admit?
Because that's what leadership does. When you can't do it, you say you couldn't do it.
I have to look at my numbers. You pose the question to me right now. I have to go to my staff and let them do a review for me.
That was the Education Minister, Dr. Yawose Duchum. You're still listening to Citi Prime News on 97.3 Citi FM. Still to come, examiners in the Bono region demand payment from WAEC for 2023 WASI script marking services. We'll bring you the details of this story and others shortly. Please stay.
Citi Prime News at 12 midday. Update you on all the running stories and connects you to the newsmakers.
Embark on an unforgettable road trip across 14 diverse and vibrant regions of Ghana in just 8 days on the Heritage Caravan 2024. Get ready to immerse yourself in the rich culture, breathtaking landscapes, and the warm heritage-laced hospitality Ghana has to offer. From the Greater Accra region to the Volta region, to the Eastern region, to the Bono region, Ahafo region, Bono East region, to the Upper East region, to the Northern region, to the Savannah region, to the Northeast region, to the Ashanti region, to the Western North region, the Western region, the Central region, and back to the Greater Accra region. The Heritage Caravan will last for 8 days from Sunday the 3rd of March to Sunday the 10th of March 2024. An expedition full of excitement, education, information, wonderful memories, and great bonding moments awaits you. Call 0205-973-973 to register for the Heritage Caravan 2024 now. This is a journey of a lifetime to discover Ghana. The Heritage Caravan 2024 is powered by Citi TV with support from 97.3 Citi FM. Terms and conditions apply.
Citi TV is live on DSTV, GoTV, and HD+. On DSTV, find us on channel 363. On GoTV, we're on channel 117, and on HD+, get us on channel 108. On a digital TV, run a new search, but take note that without an antenna, you cannot access Citi TV. Citi TV can be accessed on any free-to-air digital box like the GoTV and HD+ boxes. Citi TV, it's your world. With the complexities of issues happening around us on a daily basis, it's the hard-hitting conversations and probing questions of the point of view that teases apart the twisted entanglements of politics and governance, as well as religious and social discourse. The Point of View brings you the policymakers and duty bearers and drills down to the very bottom of issues. The Point of View airs every Monday and Wednesday at 9 p.m. only on Citi TV.
Citi Prime News at 12 midday. Updates you on all the running stories and connects you to the newsmakers.
You all come back. Now, several examiners in the Bono region have expressed dissatisfaction with the treatment they are receiving from the West African Examinations Council, WAEC. They claim the council has failed to pay them after marking scripts for candidates who sat for the 2023 West African Senior School Certificate Examination, WASI. The examiners say this delay in payment has become a recurring issue. Despite the release of results by WAEC, the examiners report that they are still awaiting their rightful compensation.
I started marking since 2010 and everything was okay until recent times. The payments are not forthcoming. We have to wait for so many weeks or even months before we are being paid. That is my concern. That is what we are going through now as examiners. When you contact WAEC too, they said the government has not given them the money. So we, the markets, we don't have any person to even fight for us. And look at the stress that we went through during the marking. And all that, up to now, we have not been paid.
Oh, for now, in fact, I'm even fed up, to tell you the truth, my brother. I'm fed up. I'm getting fed up because this is not the first time they are doing this. They started this delaying of our payment for about 2 years now. Always when we finish, they just sit there, and the time they think is right for them, they will release our monies to us.
WAEC mount pressure on examiners, for which you have to sit overnight to do all this. But what I've realized is that the employer-employee relationship is not going on well. Even if there is any distortion, they should have even called or sent text messages as they do to alert us for conferences and marking conferences. But they don't do that. So this has become a problem now.
Those were some examiners speaking on the failure of WAEC to pay them promptly. Though authorities at the WAEC office in Sunyani refused to speak on record, they have acknowledged the outstanding payments owed the examiners and assured them that they will be remunerated once the funds are released by the government.
Leaders of the Rotational Nurses and Midwives Association say the group will embark on a strike if the government fails to pay stalled allowances. The association says the government's silence on the payment of the allowances is concerning. They have indicated that it will embark on a strike by the end of the month. Speaking to Citi News, the national president of the Rotational Nurses and Midwives, Jasper Joka, says they are disappointed in the government's failure to pay them.
There is no financial clearance for the rotation nurses. They have done 6 months, solidly 6 months on empty stomach, 6 months, and their names have not been taken. And the government is quiet. And so, as we speak now, the executives, some of them have been sent to submit letters to the Ministry of Health this morning. And so today we are sending to them a letter of reminder for them to respond to us. We are hungry, working 6 months on empty stomach, and not even our names have been taken. It is nothing to even talk about. And in fact, if we are still working and the government is not paying any attention to us, I think that we have to also take some action, because we ourselves are suffering, our membership are suffering. On the side of the student trainees, they are younger people who are in the profession and they are learning. And these people have been promised some allowances, and these monies have not been paid to them. Where is the motivation? So we still stand by our decision, and that if the government has not responded to us by the end of this month, we will stand by our decision and still take some action.
The national president of the Rotational Nurses and Midwives Association, Jasper Joka.
Now, some schools in the Nkwanta South municipality of the Oti region reopened today after months of closure due to the ongoing ethnic conflict which began in October last year. Hundreds of residents fled the community after over 15 persons were killed following disagreements over the performance of rites related to the Achodes 2023 annual Yam Festival. Although a curfew has been placed on the municipality, tensions are still high as the situation seems not to be calming down. Schools were closed down after a basic school teacher was shot dead in the heat of the conflict. In an interview with Citi News, the Nkwanta South Education Director Jonathan Kosina clarified the reopening of the schools.
We have some few schools which teachers withdrew their services because of some unrest. It's not all the schools. Last year, there were some schools in session, about 80 schools. Now, around December, we had a consultation with discussions with the security agencies and also with stakeholders. And we've realized that there is relative peace in Nkwanta, and especially the areas where we had the hotspots, where we had the conflict. So we resolved that once we have security protection and there is peace, we have to go back to school. So that's how come we've gone back to school. Basic schools, and then we have 3 secondary schools which have resumed. Obviously, if a teacher is going to school and the place is not safe, I mean the teacher will withdraw his service. So that is clear. Our stand is clear. We are here to labor and get something home. Once the place is not secured, no teacher will risk his life to go to those areas. But like I am saying, we have done a lot of consultation. We have observed a lot of things, and we think that the place is safe for our teachers to go back.
You heard the Nkwanta South Education Director, Jonathan Kosina.
Outgoing assembly members in the Saboba district of the Northern region are still in conflict with the district chief executive over allegations he forged their signatures. The Saboba Central Assembly member, Emmanuel Ntenyado, is the spokesperson for the outgoing assembly members.
So, in fact, what we need to clear is that he has just confirmed an illegality, because it is when the budget is approved by the General Assembly that the PM cannot append his signature on it. So that you can't crisscross it. If at the executive level, the executive committee can only discuss the budget, but they can't approve it. So if at the executive level you call PM to come and sign a composite budget, that is an illegality. However, interestingly, PM confirmed that he did not also sign any budget. What he signed was TNT for some meeting that he went. He didn't sign any budget because he doesn't even have the budget. Right yesterday in the evening, around 7, we booked a program. We wanted to go on air at 7. So when we went there, we were there with about 7 or 8 honorable members. when we got there, we were now waiting for the one to host us. They are only to be said, to be asked that the one to host us came and showed us a message that do not host them again. So ask why. No, ask why. And they said, then the acting manager came around and said, it's from above. They said they shouldn't host us. It's from above. If they want to host us, they will close down the station. So we're like, this is, I mean, we're not, what we are going to discuss is already on air. There is nothing personal about this. So they deny us. Yesterday, it's 7 p.m.
You heard the Assembly member of Saboba Central, Emmanuel Ntenyado. Now, lawyers for an aspiring NPP parliamentary candidate for Bimbilla, Ahmed Zaruk, have petitioned the National Elections Committee of the party to intervene in the challenges surrounding his vetting at the regional level. They allege interference from both constituency and regional executives in the process. Ahmed Zaruk wants the national executives to prevent the regional chairman and the constituency executives from taking part in the process. Here are excerpts of the petition.
We write for and on behalf of Mr. Ahmed Zaruk Nuhu, an aspiring parliamentary candidate in the Bimbilla constituency in the northern region of the Republic of Ghana, hereinafter referred to as our client, who have instructed us to attend to this subject matter of an unreasonable conduct of Chairman Samba in the Bimbilla constituency parliamentary process. Premised on the above and pursuant to Article 481 of the NPP Constitution, we appeal that you use the influence of your office to ensure that our client be unconditionally added to the successful candidate for the election of parliamentary candidates for the Bimbilla constituency for the purposes of the 2024 parliamentary elections with or without the endorsement of the contractual agreement. 2. To remove Chairman Samba and his followers from the Bimbilla electoral process forthwith and compel them to cease from interfering directly or otherwise from engaging in any way or form in the Bimbilla parliamentary elections. And 3. To restrain the constituency executives, in particular the secretary and chairman, from dealing in any way in the Bimbilla parliamentary elections.
You heard excerpts from the petition written by lawyers for NPP parliamentary aspirant for Bimbilla addressed to the National Elections Committee of the party, read by City News' Ni Latte Latte.
We'll still stay with the NPP, and after his 2020 NPP primaries defeat, former Musica president and managing director of Ghana Post Company Limited, Bice Osei-Kuffour, known as Obuo, is making a comeback. The competition, however, won't be as easy as the incumbent Member of Parliament, Kweku Asante-Boateng, and Eric Amofa, his two contenders, both plan to secure victory. City News' Middle Belt Bureau Chief Edward Opomafo sheds light on the Asante Achim South NPP parliamentary primaries in the following report.
The previous NPP primaries in the Ashanti region saw intense competition. Bice Osei-Kuffour and 3 others aimed to unseat Kweku Asante-Boateng, seeking a 3rd term. Initially celebrating victory, Obuo's supporters learned later that the incumbent had secured 360 votes, surpassing Obuo's 296 votes, with the other 3 securing 32, 9, and 8 votes respectively. 3 contenders from the previous contest are once again in the fray. Incumbent Kweku Asante-Boateng, Bice Osei-Kuffour Obuo, and Eric Amofa. Bice Osei-Kuffour Obuo tells City News he's returning with more strength.
I think the last time it was a miscommunication. What happened was it was 46 electoral areas. As at the time they finished 45 electoral areas, I was leading. And so everybody around felt that, we are 46 and at 45 Obuo is leading. And so Obuo has won. But of course, when the last electoral area, which had a lot of votes, came, the MP had beaten me in that electoral area. That's how come it became as if Obuo had won, and later they said Obuo didn't win. But this year, all the things that we missed out, that we couldn't do last year, we are doing them this time around, and we are very focused and clear in our mind that the delegates of Asante Achim South have given our MP, Member of Parliament, every respect he needs. Honoring him with representation in Parliament for 3 terms is not a joke. No Member of Parliament in the constituency have even gone beyond 8 years. He has done 12 years. We think his time is up. It's time for a new vision. It's time for change. It's time for Obo. Number 2.
Obo outlines his vision for the constituency.
The constituency is a constituency that has missed people. Majority are farmers, and so we are looking at farming interventions, food processing. These are major projects we are battling, we are pushing for. Another key area in the field of education is the constituency it cannot boast of any tertiary institution. And so one of the major plans that we have put on the drawing board is how we can draw education, the authorities of education, to bring either a teacher training, a nursing training, or a university into the constituency. These are key critical things to the development of the constituency. Another major problem in the constituency is jobs. There are several young people in the constituency who don't have jobs. And we have planned and programmed certain skills training initiatives so that we can create entrepreneurs in the constituency. Our vision is to create 10,000 entrepreneurs every year in the constituency.
Incumbent MP Kwekwa Asante-Boateng remains unfazed, relying on his track record.
I will win. I will win. That one, no two ways about it. The majorities rose about 120 kilometers. And even some constituencies cannot boast of, let's say, 5 kilometers or a kilometer of third road. So if we'll be able to do 120 kilometers within this space of time, it's a massive achievement under my leadership. Employment, the little that we can do in areas of teaching and under the health sector and agri, some going to cocoa board and other areas. We've done a lot, and the security services.
He aims to use his next step to consolidate the previous gains, as he tells Citi News.
My vision is to consolidate the gains that we've achieved. We'll be able to achieve under the leadership of His Excellency Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo. We've done a lot of developmental projects, but that notwithstanding, we still have some uncompleted projects in the area of roads, school projects, chip compounds, and other things. So we want to use our next term to consolidate the gains by completing all these projects.
Considered the underdog, Eric Amufa believes his ongoing works in the constituency make him a strong contender.
When it comes to what I'm doing a lot. If you mention Eric Amufa in Asante-Achim South, the key thing that comes in is education. For the past 3 years, I've been supporting the citizens in the constituency when it comes to improving the lives of the people and also improving education. Recently, I launched Education Fund, and Eric Amufa, I put a seed money of 100,000 Ghana cedis to support needy children in the constituency. In addition to this, last 3 months, Eric Amufa supplied 5,000 exercise books to all secondary schools in my constituency. When it comes to the party, everything the party has been doing, Eric Amufa has been present. When we were doing the Electoral Commission registration, I was there supporting the party, the full soldiers. When we were doing the assemblyman election, Eric Amufa was there going rounds to make sure I'm visible in the constituency.
He highlights his plans if given the chance to represent the constituents in Parliament.
There's a lot of vision I have. That is to help improve education in my constituency. Our health sector in the constituency is lacking behind. As we speak, one district hospital we don't have the facilities required to make sure the people there can have a good care or good health access. Our road network also needs to be improved. Farming is one of the key activities or economic activity we do in the constituency. And Eric Amufa is looking at bringing commercial farming, where we will group the youth into farming. We will make sure the youth are trained in a specific farming activity so that they can also do it and get some money to empower them to be able to also transform other lives and also within their family.
The Asante-Achim South MPP primary is poised for a fierce contest once again, making it an election to watch.
That was a report put together by Citi News' Middle Belt Bureau Chief Edward Opomafo.
The National Democratic Congress is vehemently opposing a decision by the Electoral Commission to discontinue the use of indelible ink in the 2024 general elections. The decision forms part of reforms by the EC ahead of the December 7 polls, citing the efficiency of the biometric verification system in preventing double voting. Speaking at a news conference at the party's head office in Accra, the national chairman, Johnson Esiedun-Ketia, argued the decision has the potential to compromise the integrity of the elections.
Let me be abundantly clear one more time that the NDC is diametrically opposed to the Electoral Commission's decision not to use indelible ink during the election 2024. We are all aware of the many unanswered questions about the integrity of the voters' register. The discontinuation of the use of indelible ink in Ghana's elections at this stage will open the floodgate for nefarious activities that will compromise the integrity of our elections. This problem is exacerbated by the many unanswered questions about the integrity of the voters' register. One wonders how and why the EC arrived at this decision.
That was the chairman of the National Democratic Congress, Johnson Esiedun-Ketia.
This is still Citi Prime News. Stories we've been bringing you. Farmers in Chichere in the eastern region decry the forceful takeover over their lands by alleged illegal sand winners, and examiners in the Bono region demand payment from WAEC for 2023 WASI script marking services. Still to come, Citi FM and Citi TV cut sword for a construction of a clinic for the Mepe community, which was heavily affected by the spillage of the Akosombo Dam. Please stay tuned.
Citi Prime News at 12 midday. Update you on all the running stories and connects you to the newsmakers.
The average human body mass should have at least 60% water for optimal performance in any physical or mental exercise. We can help you maintain it naturally.
Hi, my name is Stephen Appiah, the team coordinator of the Black Stars. I always like to keep hydrated naturally, every day, any day. S Natural Mineral Water does the trick.
Manufactured through a double purification process to produce pure, natural drinking water. X Natural Mineral Water. Simply natural. For bulk purchase, call 0596 273 546 or 0596 273 547. This advert is FDA approved. Citi TV is live on DSTV, GoTV, and HD+. On DSTV, find us on channel 363. On GoTV, we're on channel 117, and on HD+, get us on channel 108. On a digital TV, run a new search, but take note that without an antenna, you cannot access Citi TV. Citi TV can be accessed on any free-to-air digital box like the GoTV and HD+ boxes. Citi TV, it's your world.
Citi Prime News at 12 midday. Update you on all the running stories and connects you to the newsmakers.
Many thanks for staying with us. Now, the City Relief Rebuild phase will today break ground for the building of a clinic for the people of Mepe in the North Tong district. North Tong was the epicenter of the Akosombo Dam spillage, with over 15,000 people displaced. The project will take approximately 2 months to complete. The general manager of Citi FM and Citi TV, Bernard Avle, gives details of this new project.
The city relief effort is in phases, and we're in the rebuild phase. And we got you can call it a distress call from the health service within the Volta region, asking that they want us to put up a clinic at Mepe because in all the excitement and the activities around the flooding, we sort of overlooked the fact that there was a critical need for a health facility in the town to support the work of the health service. So they reached out and said, look, they felt like because of the resources we had gathered and the credibility we had, and because of the project we've already begun, they feel like we can build a facility for them. And we've spoken to our team, seen the designs, made some changes. So this afternoon we'll go to Mefe to cut sod for the building of a clinic, which will have a facility like a CHIPS compound, and it will also be places to accommodate doctors and things. to be a permanent health, and this will be on a safe place, safe ground, because in coordinating the health effort, they noticed that lack of specific facility in Mefe itself affected their work.
And it's not a case that they've been left out entirely in Citi's relief efforts.
No. I mean, look, because we work together, right? We know that the MP has been at the center of this, and he's been mobilizing a lot of resources for Mefe itself. We got distress calls from Central Town, where we went to. Some of the things we're doing at Bakba and the things we did at Sokwe and all those other places were based on distress calls, right? And the flooding affected all the way from Buipe down to get to South. So, look, we are filling the gaps, right? So it's not like everybody has to be at the same place at the same time. But I think that the move to set up this facility in Mefe is also important.
That was the General Manager of Citi FM and Citi TV, Bernard Avle.
Contractors on the Swami Interchange project say they will soon commence work on an overpass to help eliminate congestion and vehicular traffic before the start of the major interchange project. Contractors are currently widening the main Kumasi-Ofensu road to ensure free flow of traffic when major works begin on the interchange project. City News' Ashanti regional correspondent Hafiz Tijani reports.
The project involves a 4-tier interchange at the Swami Runabout, the expansion of the eastern and western bypasses, the construction of vehicular overpasses on major intersections, and the improvement of a short section of the Mampon North and South Road. Project Director with the Associated Consultants Limited, Engineer Kobina Bimpon, gave updates on the progress of work so far.
And what we are doing is that we want to widen these roads to ensure that once we start working in the highly trafficked area, which is the Swami interchange area, we would have free flow of traffic. So we have about 15 kilometers of local roads, which are currently being prepared for a start on all the quadrants or in all the quadrants of the interchange. From the 15th of January, we are going to start the interchanges or the overpasses by drilling what we call piles, which will serve as a deep foundations for all the overpasses which I have earlier on mentioned. Now, when you get to the other side, we have, of course, you know, the interchange has 5 legs. We have the Mampon North and then the Mampon South roads. We have the western and then the eastern bypasses, and then, of course, the Ofensu Road. We are going to tackle all of these roads and provide 2 other great separation on the Abrepo Junction, which will be an underpass, and then we'll have an overpass at Crowfrom. So this, maybe in summary, is the way we are proceeding with this project.
Roads and Highways Minister Kwesi Amwakwata, who inspected ongoing works, urged contractors to put in more efforts in executing the project.
And I want to urge all of you to put in greater effort, because this is a major project that we need in Kumasi. You know, it's one of about 3-4 interchanges that we aim at building in Kumasi. This Swami interchange. We also look at Ofolikrom interchange, Ahujo interchange, the airport roundabout interchange, and so on. But this one has strongly taken off, and I want you to put in greater effort. I'm sure very soon it may be necessary even to introduce night work. You know, the Swami area is quite congested, in terms of human beings and traffic and so on.
The minister also inspected ongoing works on Asante Mampon and Bonwuri town roads and pledged the government's commitment to seeing the completion of these projects.
A lot of work is going on in Mampon Township and the internal roads of Mampon. As you said, this is the road to Mampon Waterworks. Hitherto, it was almost impassable. Today, we have a very wide, clear road, and where we are standing, this bridge culvert, as you may call it, trucks could not pass through it. It's firmly built. We have driven on the main road to Krobo Township. And all these jobs are being undertaken by Kofi Joe Company Limited. It's doing great job, fantastic job. You know, as an indigene and as a Ghanaian, the number of equipments, the different types of equipment deployed on all these projects, it's amazing and it's fantastic. I want to assure all these people that government of President Akufo-Addo is solidly behind them.
Traditional authorities in Mampong and Bongwe lauded government's intervention and also called for a speedy completion of the projects to save motorists from the stress.
Hafiz Tijani, Citi News, Swami, Ashanti region.
Now, the Ministry for Interior is taking steps to clamp down on illegal key cutting, rubber stamp and seal operators. The ministry is thus urging such business owners to register or renew their license with the ministry in compliance with the Locksmiths Act, 1994 Act 488 to avoid sanctions. Citi News' Daniel Sakite has more in the following report read to you by Emmanuel Opon.
According to the Locksmiths Act, 1994 Act 488, a person shall not engage in the business of making locks, repairing locks, or cutting keys, unless the person is granted a license by the minister responsible for the interior or an officer authorized by the minister for that purpose. Additionally, Section 9 of the Act specifies that a person who, without a valid license issued under this Act, engages in or carries on a business as a locksmith or makes a false statement for the procuring of the license or fails to exhibit the license contrary to Section 5 or transfers a license granted under this Act, commits an offense and is liable on conviction to a fine not exceeding 250 penalty units or to a term of imprisonment not exceeding 1 year or to both the fine and the imprisonment. However, the Ministry of Interior has noted with concerns the disregard for the acquisition of license by key cutting, rubber stamp and seal operators amidst concerns about sophisticated crimes.
The data of the ministry shows that the licensing regime of the operators has declined. And also, we also observe that we have a number of key cutting and private security organizations in the country. So decline in the licensing and then increase in the operations. So which shows that some are doing without licensing. This tells you that it is right for us to let the public and even the operators know that you cannot do that without recourse to the ministry. We need to regulate the way they go about it. It's your business.
In an interview with Citi News, Head of Public Affairs of the Ministry of Interior, Zachary Musa, further indicated that the ministry will assess its sensitization exercise before cracking the whip.
If we have not gone on this exercise or were not doing it, we wouldn't have known that some are operating without a license. So the monitoring exercise is very important. In every sphere of life or business, there is a time that you need to do some kind of evaluation to see whether things are going on well or not. So the monitoring exercise is actually helping us to know that, okay, there's a need to sensitize, do the more of the sensitization and the monitoring to encourage them to come and license their operation. So they'll ask for the monitoring exercise. I think is going well and we are okay with it. So we are calling on them to come and do the needful, to come and license their operations so that we don't come after them.
Meanwhile, some key cutting, rubber stamp and seal operators who have been speaking to Citi News on condition of anonymity lament challenges in getting license for the operations. They want the government to put in place measures to boost the operations while making the process of acquiring a license easy.
Acquiring the license, I put a request for almost like 3 years.
I have placed a request for a license, but I haven't received feedback. I went to the Interior Ministry and was asked to fill out a form for the investigator to later reach out to me. The investigator reached out and I subsequently went for my details to be taken. The crime officer also came to inspect the facility. I was asked to go and that my details will be sent to the Interior Ministry for processing. I followed up and my license has still not been given to me. I am operating without a license.
Because the license didn't come inside here. Oh, I didn't license. But the business is not moving well, that's why. Oh, it's money matter.
Okay, so financial challenges is not making you go for the license?
Yes.
City News' Daniel Sakite filed that report, read to you by Emmanuel Opong.
The West African Examination Council says it would deploy its officers to some regions as part of investigations into examination malpractices recorded in the 2023 West Africa Senior Secondary Certificates Examination. WAEC cancelled the subject results of 3,647 candidates for bringing foreign materials such as prepared notes, textbooks, and printed materials into the examination halls. WAEC also withheld the subject results of about 4,000 candidates and the entire results of over 1,000 candidates for various suspected offences. Speaking to City News, the head of public affairs at WAEC, John Kapi, said majority of the results have been released following its probe, with just a few pending.
So far, we've done some investigations. There are a number of them that we felt there wasn't sufficient evidence to, punish the candidates, and so we have released their results. In fact, we've released quite a number of them. There are others also that we found overwhelming evidence, and so we are preparing ourselves to hold meetings with the affected candidates for them to, confirm our suspicions or otherwise. It's about logistics, it's about personnel. So we are gathering the officers, and we also have to.
John Kapi is the head of public affairs at the West Africa Examination Council.
Now, the Black Stars of Ghana played out a goalless draw with Namibia in the final phase of their preparation for the 2023 AFCON in Cote d'Ivoire. The friendly game played at the Baba Yara Stadium last night had the team miss out on key players including Mohamed Kudus, Antoine Semenyo and Salih Samed due to injuries and illnesses. Ahead of the Black Stars' departure from Ghana to Cote d'Ivoire on Wednesday, January 10, head coach of the senior national team, Chris Hughton, reflected on his team's performance against Namibia.
A game of two halves. I think what was evident is that we were up against a team that's a lot of energy, very direct in the way that they play, 4-4-2, look to search behind, good runners behind, and around that, what you have to be able to do is keep the ball well enough. And in a first half period, I thought our ball retention wasn't good enough, which made it difficult for us.
You heard the head coach for the Black Stars, Chris Hughton. For his part, Namibia head coach Colin Benjamin stated how proud he was about his team's performance against the four-time African champions.
Those boys taken up did a very, very good game. They did it as a collective, a lot of energy, a lot of enthusiasm, a lot of conviction, and I'm just proud of the team. The first half, I think we created really, really good chances that we could even go 2-0 in front. In second half, also the tempo, Ghana took it even further, but I think we contained them, and the 2-3 chances that we also had, that makes me just being proud to be the coach of this team.
That was the Namibia head coach, Colin Benjamin. And that's it for Citi Prime News, which has been live from our studio at Adabraka in Accra. For more news, kindly log on to citynewsroom.com. My name is Zoe Abubedu Ado, and I was here with
Eno Safo.
The business news is up next with Neteli Nete Ajaho.